Okay, so it's time for us to go ahead and get back into our coverage over the Batman The Long Halloween. Now, we already covered the first three chapters of this major storyline that was given to us in the late 1990s, but now it's time for us to go ahead and cover the next three chapters. Now, just in case we have anybody kind of just jumping into our coverage with us, when it comes to the Batman The Long Halloween, it's the whole idea of the early days of Bruce Wayne being Batman, but also working with Harvey Dent and also Jim Gordon to bring down Carmine Falcone. But here is another problem. You see, each holiday is basically somebody going after Carmine Falcone, killing off different members of his family or his crime organization that works very close to him. And so now for Harvey, Jim, and also Batman, they're trying their best to figure out who is this holiday killer. And so each issue is taking place on a different holiday. The first one being Halloween, second one Thanksgiving, and the third one being Christmas. But now it's time for us to jump into New Year's with issue number 4. And as we get into the opening pages for issue number 4, we're picking up with the Joker. Now, this is the book reminding us that at the end of the third chapter of the storyline, the Joker had expressed that he's technically jealous of the holiday killer. And the reason why, because the holiday killer has been getting a lot of attention lately from the media. And so for the Joker, that right there is not okay at all. For the Joker, Gotham is only big enough for one crazy killer, and that is truly it. And so for New Year's, for the Joker, what he wants to do is drop gas in the middle of Gotham City at midnight, because you're going to have a lot of people there celebrating New Year's. And so you have the Joker go out of his way to steal a plane to hopefully drop that gas in the middle of Gotham at midnight. Now, luckily for us, Batman found out what the Joker is trying to do. And so for Batman, his main goal at the moment is to at least stop the Joker. But now for a brief moment, we have to jump over to, well, Harvey Dent. Now for Harvey Dent, it's him once again just working late. The dude, for me personally, should already be at home with his wife to get ready to bring in the new year. Now for Harvey Dent, he's actually on his way out to go home to be with his wife, but he's then stopped by his assistant, better known as Vernon. Now for Vernon, he's kind of like, hey boss, before you go, I want to let you know that I have been looking at all these old police reports, and basically I think I found a connection. That connection could be Carmine Falcone connection to Bruce Wayne. Now remember, Carmine Falcone is a big time monster in Gotham City. And so for Harvey Dent, this dude has been trying to find any connection he can use to hopefully bring down Carmine Falcone. Now, for a brief moment, we do jump back over to Batman fighting against the Joker on the plane. And I kind of like these few pages. And the reason why, because it kind of seems like it's the book saying like, listen, the Joker is not going to become a major vocal point in the storyline. The Joker is only being used as a way to kind of help move the story forward. And that is truly it. To give Batman something to do as the other characters are being moved around in this storyline. Now we do switch over to Carmine Falcone and Mr. Maroni. Now for Maroni, remember, he is the rival to Carmine Falcone, the other big monster in Gotham City. If Falcone disappears or his whole entire empire crumbles, then Maroni will be able to just move in and take over his territories when it comes to being a monster. But this is Maroni coming to Carmine and basically saying like, we should work together to figure out who is this holiday killer, because it's not just bad for your business, but it's also bad for my business as well. We should work together. Now for Carmine, it's him saying like, listen, I realize something, that there have been a lot of people dying on my side, but on your side, no one has truly died yet. That seems very interesting. Now, he does walk away, and he does run into his sister, Carla. Now, for Carmine, he told us that technically he does not trust Carla at all when it comes to her trying her best to move up in the family. Now, he's right now trying to find his son, Alberto. And so that kind of leads us over to Carla going outside, trying her best to find her nephew. The problem is that right before she gets out there, the holiday killer strikes again. And so you have the holiday killer kill off Alberto. Another person in Falcone's family has been murdered. Now, getting back over to Harvey Dent, you have Harvey Dent go home, and he thinks it's going to be a quiet night with Gilda, his wife. The problem is that when he does get home, he realized the Gordons are there as well to kind of help celebrate the brand new year. Now, for Harvey, he just walks away. He goes into the kitchen. Now for Jim, he follows Harvey into the kitchen. Now, let's not forget, for Gilda, she's been wanting a child for a while. Apparently, they had tried before, but things happened. And so now for her, she was kind of hoping with a brand new house that they would have the ability to try again. But the cases that Harvey's taking on right now is just keeping him busy and away from her. Now, you have Jim Gordon being that good guy and going to check in on Harvey like, hey, Harvey, what in the world is going on with you? And so for Jim, he goes over to the kitchen where Harvey is at, and Harvey tells Jim, like, listen, we need to talk to Bruce Wayne, because now this is Harvey believing there is a connection between Harvey Dent and Carmine Falcone. Now, the rest of this New Year's issue is really more of us just seeing Batman fighting against the Joker. And by the end of this section right here, you do have Bruce Wayne being able to defeat the Joker. It's Bruce Wayne kind of believing that he's doing a good job when it comes to protecting Gotham, but also he believes that getting closer and closer to finally finishing his mission, which is bringing peace into Gotham City. And so that leads us into the Valentine's Day issue. Now, here's the thing, because as we pick up with the Valentine's Day issue, we're also picking up with two characters believing that there is some kind of connection right now between Bruce Wayne and Carmine Falcone. You have Harvey Dent and Jim Gordon head over to the home of Bruce Wayne, Wayne Manor. Now, for Alfred, he does tell our two characters, like, hey, listen, if you're looking for Mr. Wayne, he's not here right now. He is away, especially because this is Valentine's Day season. So, of course, the man's probably busy with somebody that he has an interest with. But for Harvey Dent, he's very determined to figure out what is that connection between Bruce Wayne and also Carmine Falcone. Now, for Bruce Wayne, we're seeing him right now heading over to where Carmine Falcone is at. And for Carmine Falcone, it's him right now just paying his respect to his son that he had just lost. Now, this is Batman confronting him, kind of like, was it worth it? This whole entire organization that you have built up, was it worth it? Because now you have lost your son. And here's the question. How many other people close to you have to die? How many young boys and young, women have to die because of you? What other sons you have could possibly die, again, because of you? Now, for Carmine Falcone, he's holding Bruce Wayne at gunpoint. But luckily, at the very last second, you do have Bruce Wayne be saved by Selina Kyle. Now, this is Catwoman once again kind of being brought into the storyline. But here's the thing, because by the end of this section, we see the two characters go their separate ways, and you didn't have the two characters meet up at a train station as their other selves. So Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. Now, while you have the two getting ready to go on their date for the night, you do have this lady just walk by Bruce and Selina who's selling roses. Now, you do have Selina go ahead and buy a rose for, I guess, Bruce Wayne. But when Bruce goes to grab the rose, the thorn of the rose does scratch him. Now, as the lady walks away, we get the idea that that was just Poison Ivy who's walking away, plotting something else to happen later on in this story. Now, earlier, we met a character known as Vernon, who was the assistant to Harvey Dent. Well, we see Vernon meeting up with Maroni, the rival to Carmine Falcone. Now, this is Maroni giving Vernon a huge chunk of money, but it also kind of seems like it's Vernon right now feeding information over to Maroni. Like, for example, it's him telling Maroni, Harvey Dent believes that you are the weakest link when it comes to his case against Carmine Falcone. But outside the restaurant for Mr. Maroney, you have 4 guards outside whose goal is to make sure nobody goes inside who should not be going inside the restaurant. But while you have the 4 guys talking to one another and wondering like who is the holiday killer, well, that is when all 4 guys are killed off by the holiday killer, but also the car is blown up as well. And so you have Maroney run outside and realize that his men have just been murdered. The holiday killer is now coming after him as well. But now we do get a couple of pages of where we see Jim Gordon and also Harvey Dent being able to go home to their wives, being able to celebrate Valentine's Day with their loved ones. But here's the thing, because while you have those 2 guys being able to do that, we switch over to Bruce Wayne. And for Bruce, well, it does seem like he's under somebody's control, because you do have Bruce just walk right past Alfred. You have Bruce continue to go over to his balcony. And when he does, we see that Bruce Wayne is currently under control of Poison Ivy. But as we get into the St. Patrick's Day issue, we're now picking up with somebody being able to get out early on parole. And so we kind of find out that this is another family member of Carmine Falcone. This would be his daughter. Of course, I am talking about good old Sophia. Now for Sophia, she will now play a major role in the storyline as well when it comes to the overall story of the Long Halloween. But now we have to switch over to Bruce Wayne. Now for Bruce Wayne, currently he's under Poison Ivy's control. But let's not forget that in the earlier parts of this storyline, when it came to Bruce Wayne, he had heard that Gotham's National Bank was trying to make a deal with Carmine Falcone with his import company. Now, Bruce realized what Carmine was trying to do, use the bank as a way to launder money. And so Bruce was able to kind of work his way up to the top to stop that from actually happening. And so we see now for Poison Ivy, with her now controlling Bruce Wayne, is her telling Bruce to change his mind, to allow Carmine Falcone Import Company to work with the Gotham's National Bank. But now we jump over to Harvey Dent and also Jim Gordon. Now for these 2 guys, they're still trying their best to figure out who is the holiday killer. Here's the thing though, because with these 2 guys trying to figure out who the holiday killer is, Maroney and Falcone, their war against one another is getting bigger and bigger, because for Maroney, he believes that Falcone is secretly working with the holiday killer to come after him. And so it kind of shows that a gang war is about to happen, all thanks to this holiday killer. Now, while you have the 2 guys talking to one another, they don't realize that somebody is listening in on their conversation, and that will be Harvey Dent's assistant. But now we have to jump over to, well, Sophia. And you have Sophia going out of her way to meet up with her good old Aunt Carla. Now, here's the thing, because for Carla, she's very upset about the whole fact there's somebody out there killing off the different members of her family, her nephew, her son, and other people who work very close to Carmine Falcone. Now, this is Sophia informing Carla like, hey, listen, we believe the holiday killer could be Maroney or one of his people. And so our goal right now is to take a hit at Maroney right now. Will you be there with me? Now, here's the thing, because for Carla, she's holding on to the gun, the same kind of gun that has been used to kill off, of course, Alberto, but also her son as well. And so it kind of shows that there is a possibility it could be Carla, but at the same time, Carla emotions kind of tell us that it can't be her. But either way, it is Carla saying like, yeah, I'll be there by your side because your dad was able to handle the bank issue. And so now him and I can work together. But now we have to switch over to Bruce Wayne and also good old Poison Ivy. Now, the 2 characters right now are having dinner together at Wayne Manor. Now, luckily for Bruce, he does have somebody watching over him, and that would be Selena Kyle. You see, earlier, she walked past Bruce Wayne hoping to get his attention, but he just walked right by her. But as Bruce got into his car, she saw Poison Ivy in Bruce Wayne's vehicle, realizing that Bruce was under her control. And so you had Selina change into her Catwoman outfit and go after Poison Ivy. Now for Ivy, she does get away, but you do have Selina being able to break Bruce free from Poison Ivy's control. But now we see the Holiday Killer once again striking at Maroni's family, because you now have more members of his family just being killed off just like that. But here comes the big problem though, because right after you have the Holiday Killer killing off a few members of Maroni's organization, you have Sophia pull up. Now when Sophia pulls up, she does kind of see what happened to Maroni's people. They all have been killed off by the Holiday Killer. But as Sophia drives off, Maroni sees Sophia in her vehicle. And so now he believes that Sophia must be the Holiday Killer. Now for Batman, he knows he has to go tell Selina Kyle thank you, but as Batman going over to Catwoman. Now for Selina, she does not know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And so you have Batman coming to her and saying thank you, saying like, hey, listen, thank you for helping Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is a very close friend of mine. And for Selina, she's kind of like, hey, no problem. But I did have a good reason why I basically helped out Bruce Wayne. But the very last page for this chapter alone, we do learn here that technically Poison Ivy was working with Carmine Falcone. Now, we already knew that, but this last page kind of gives us that confirmation as you have Carmine Falcone hand her some money. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.